Hey there guys, Artistic Nick here, thanks for the click. In today's drawing tutorial, I'm going to be sharing with you one of my commission pieces that I've recently done. This is a surprise birthday present for Bryn, and this is from Sam, so happy birthday Bryn. I hope you like your present, but I thought that you might appreciate having a look at how it was produced. Sam and I have been working together to try and get this done for you for quite a while. We've had some hiccups with it, which I'm no doubt sure she will be sharing with you soon. So happy birthday, and I'm just going to talk you through the process of which I went through drawing this piece for you. So I use Caran D'ache pencils. These are very smooth pencil, and I actually start with a very hard pencil. I start with a 2H pencil, and what I'm doing is I'm finding the darkest areas on the picture, and I'm very lightly bringing out those darker areas with the 2H pencil, and once I feel that I'm getting a nice coverage, I then go into an HB pencil, which is slightly darker, and I work my way up to a 4B pencil, which I use at the very end. For the dog, you'll see me later on, I'm using something called WOLFF carbon, which is a mixture between sort of a charcoal and a pencil. I really wanted to try and develop some great contrast with this piece, and this was a photo that Sam sent me of the two of them. So I just felt that with this piece, the black of the dog with the very light areas around the sofa and the face would make a good drawing, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I hope you like it. So what you can see that I'm doing now is I'm using a kneaded eraser to try and bring out some of the highlights, and I'm always working with the kneaded eraser to make the lighter areas light and keeping the darkest areas in contrast with them. For the hair, we've actually got some very blonde hair, and when we draw blonde hair, what we do is we use a 2B pencil and we find the darkest areas in between the lighter hairs, and then using a brush, I brush some of the graphite around and then take the blonde hairs out with an eraser. In this case, I'm using something called a mono zero eraser, so it's a very, very fine tipped eraser. And what this does as we start to layer, it gives a sense of realism, and it makes the hair actually look blonde, even though we are using graphite. It's very difficult when we're doing a drawing to make blonde hair look blonde if we're trying to represent it with pencil strokes. So this is sort of an artist's tip that we actually take away the graphite. To not leave it totally white. The only things that are ever going to be totally white would be the whites of the eyes. Now Sam wanted me to add some colour to this, and after a bit of discussion we decided to go for the eyes. So I hope I've got the eye colours correct. Sam was quite happy with them because I'm actually colourblind. So I had to get some help from my daughters that assured me that the eyes were blue on the baby and they were brown in the dog. So I think I've got them about right. Once I've been shown what colours they are, I can kind of find the different tones and whatnot. But I'm really happy actually with how they turned out. They are quite striking once you see the finished piece. Now, as you can see at the moment, what I'm actually working on is the sofa. Now, when I looked at this reference image, I didn't realise how much work was going to go into this sofa area. This is obviously a time lapse, and I don't think you can appreciate how long it took me. I think the sofa itself took me about 8 hours. It looks like it's being done so quickly in the time lapse. I can see it now running, and I'm thinking to myself, it didn't take that long. It took such a long time because what I'm actually doing is I'm laying down the graphite and brushing it in. I'm then taking out some of the texture with the kneaded eraser, sometimes with the mono zero eraser. Then I'm going back over it in different areas and brushing it in. And all in all, it was quite a long process, but I'm really happy with how it turned out because it just gives a sense of contrast between the skin of the baby, the hair of the dog, and then the fabric of the sofa. And it also allowed me to get some dimension into it. So by making the corners of the sofa sort of darker than the rest of it, it gives the illusion that there is a weighted object on it. You can now see that I'm going in with the dog and working my way across to the right of the picture. And like I said earlier, for the dog I'm using something called WOLFF carbon. This is a mixture of a charcoal and a pencil, so I can get much darker values with this. And again, I'm using the same process. For any of the whiter areas, I'm taking that out with an eraser, and I'm using layer after layer after layer. I think this drawing took me in total about 19 to 20 hours. Like I say, sometimes the time lapse doesn't do it justice, but I can assure you it's a long process. It's a very enjoyable process, and like I say, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I hope you guys are as well. If any of you watching this have subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for that. I hope you're enjoying this video and my sort of commentary over it. But if you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you consider doing that. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. The links to all of my social platforms are down below in the descriptions. I would really like to hear from you. Maybe you've got something you'd like me to draw in a future video. Maybe you've got a tutorial that I'd like to cover, and maybe it's something about this drawing that you're seeing here that you'd like to learn or understand. And like I say, I'm willing to have a go at anything, pretty much from anime, manga, right through to something that you see now, which is sort of a realistic portrait. You can see the eye colours have gone in now into both the child and the dog. I'm really actually quite happy with how the dog's eyes came out. As I was drawing the dog, I sort of left the eyes till the last second, and I sort of had this look of sort of a zombie dog for a long time, because I just left them white. But as soon as I started to add the colour and the highlight in the eyes, it really brought a sense of life to the dog, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Overall, I'm really happy with the whole composition, but particularly the sofa. I hope you like it. Happy birthday, Bryn, and I'll see you guys in the next
subscribe,
video.
smack the notifications button, follow me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter.